It has been 552 days since I started eating meat and eggs. And I got to tell you, man, I feel wonderful. Yeah. Now I like to make these carnivore updates every now and then because a good part of you subscribers and viewers started following me because of this journey. And so I have an obligation to keep you informed. And it's been going good. Now recently I had made a video stating that I was eating green beans and I added a few other vegetables back into the mix, and I went back to strict carnivore, 100%. I'm not eating any vegetables, just meat and eggs. And since I made that change, which I hadn't done that very long anyway, but since I made that change and just gave up the green beans and gave up, really all I was eating was green beans, and occasionally I started making broccoli and cauliflower, and that just didn't sit well with me. So I quit doing that pretty quick. And then sauerkraut. And I'm no longer doing any of those. I'm just doing strict carnivore. Now, I'm in over 550 something days. So, but what I noticed was I reached a plateau where I couldn't lose anymore. I wasn't gaining any more weight. I just couldn't lose anymore. That final push, mostly up here in my man boobs. And these dudes now, although they're still there a little bit, and I've always been, even when I was younger, I had a bigger upper chest. Not necessarily fat, but I've always had a bigger upper chest. And so this is like the hardest part to get rid of. I think it's the last that you gain weight in, and it's the last that you lose weight in. My waist size has went down to size 32 from size 42 jeans. These are 32 jeans. And the belt still has, I've tightened it up quite a bit. So I'm feeling good, man. And I know a lot of people are wanting to try carnivore, but they think it's dangerous. They think it's bad for the heart. They think a lot of things. Well, I'm going to tell you this. A lot of the things you've been told all your life has been nothing but a lie, a big psyop is what it has been. You were told, drink low-fat milk, eat low-fat foods. Those are the foods that are dangerous. You were told, eat whole wheat bread. Whole wheat bread is one of the worst things you can put in your body. These things, we have grown up with, the whole world has grown up with a big psyop. What's a psyop? Well, they want to brainwash you. They want you to think a certain way so you buy certain products. And when I switch to meat and eggs, I'm going to go ahead and show a few clips right here, guys, because I do get new viewers all the time. I don't never know if a video is going to do okay or not. But just in case this one might get some views, I want to show some clips to the people that have never seen my channel right here, so you can see what I looked like just under 2 years ago. Dude, same thing. There you go. See Wong Fu over there in China? Bet they're made in China. Made in Switzerland. Man, these gonna be good then. The other one I got's an extension ladder. All right, I gotta cut that piece off. It's a measure too long. Man, it's hard to string a tape measure this wide and get a proper measurement. Yeah. And if you notice, I could not make a video, and I made a lot of videos when I was that size. I could not make a video without being out of breath. And I don't know how many comments I got. Hey man, you gotta lose some weight. You're out of breath. And I couldn't enjoy life. I couldn't enjoy life at all because I was always in pain, because I was carrying all this extra weight. My knees hurt, my ankles hurt, my hips hurt, my back always hurt. And yes, my back, if I overdo it, my back will still hurt. But the difference is The next day, man, I am back 100%. I am fine. Your body will start healing itself when you stop eating all these garbage processed foods. When you switch to strictly meat, strictly eggs, it will begin a process in your body that begins to heal everything. And so many, I know, when I first heard about carnivore, I was thinking, man, these people are off their rockers. How can eating meat and eggs, am I recording? Yes, I got to edit that out. No, I'm not going to edit that out. Sometimes I'm airheadish and I forget to hit record. But how can eating meat and eggs be healthy? It's what we're intended to eat. And I'll get people arguing every time it's not. But I'm going to tell you this. I have never felt this good in my entire adult life. So answer me that question. Why do I feel better than I've ever felt? It must be eating the right foods, right? It has to be. But there's always going to be people that have to abide by the food pyramid, have to do everything the government tells them to do. When you stop doing those things, your life's going to benefit from it. Mine sure has, big time. And not just physically, but mentally, financially. So many changes came with changing to this lifestyle. My attitude is so much better. I wake up every day feeling refreshed and full of energy. And I'm only eating once a day. That's it. Sunday, I put a 3-pound roast in the crock pot. And that was it. And I put a little bone broth, beef bone broth in there with it. And I do have a seasoning that's garlic, and it has ancient sea salt. You got to buy it off Amazon, I think it is, but it's a good salt that has garlic seasoning, because I still like a little flavoring with my meat, okay? So I cooked that all day, and I ate half of that dude Sunday and half of the dude yesterday. Yep, I ate 1.5 pounds of roast beef. And you leave all the fat on, you consume all the fat, because the fat is what you need. The fat is what you want. That's why we eat ribeyes on carnivore, because it is the fattiest steak that you can get. Cost-wise, I'm not really spending any more than I ever spent. You know, what can you put a price on your health? If you knew how good I feel now versus what I felt 2 years ago, I would have paid a lot more to get this way. It is worth it. I threw away every prescription medication that I was on. I did that rather quickly. Within 2 months of starting carnivore, I threw away my losartan, which is the blood pressure medicine. I threw away the cholesterol medicine, because you want cholesterol. That is another psyop that you have been told that cholesterol is bad for you. It's not. It is not. And I have been getting checked out medically. In fact, when I had to do a sleep study last week, and he had told me my blood pressure was the most perfect blood pressure he had ever seen doing these tests. And that made me smile. And then I did mention to him, I said, well, that's the carnivore lifestyle. And he says, all right, man, because he was carnivore as well. A guy in the medical profession who knew that the carnivore lifestyle was good for him. And there's getting to be more and more people in the medical profession that are waking up to this fact that carnivore is good. And I think they've known it a long time, because how many overweight doctors, nurses do you see? Not many. Compared to other fields of work, you see a lot less overweight doctors and nurses, and anybody in the medical field. Are they on to a secret that we don't know? I think so. I think they see people on a daily basis that are obese, and they know, and they ask these people what they're eating. I don't even know if they ask, because I remember my doctor visits. They're not real concerned about your diet. They'll tell you to lose weight, but they won't tell you how to do it. Have you noticed that? They will always tell you you need to lose weight, watch what you eat, but they don't have a clue on what that is you're supposed to eat, because They're not trained in nutrition. I believe they only have about 120 hours in nutrition. But they have found things out along the way that obviously they're not consuming the same things we are. Maybe they're more disciplined, I don't know. But the carnivore lifestyle, once you get into the rhythm of it, it's not hard. Some people do it just to lose weight, and then they go back to normal, what they were eating normally. Well, that's not going to work. You have to maintain some sort of carnivore lifestyle in order to keep the weight off. And it isn't just about weight loss. It's about feeling better. It's about feeling better, getting more healthy. Your liver, your kidneys, all your internal organs will start to heal themselves. And you feel that. You feel that. I no longer have pains in my side. I no longer have chest pains. I don't have any of those anymore. And so something must be working. Something had to have been reversed in order for this to happen. And the only thing that I've changed is my diet. So there you go. There's the answer. Yes, changing your diet can change your life. It can make you healthier. And it doesn't matter what your age is. Now here's where the problem comes in. Some people are on certain medications. I know, like my father, he is on a blood thinner. So I couldn't sit here and give everybody, and tell everybody, hey, you need to go on carnivore, because I don't know, because I am not a medical doctor, I don't know what the change in your diet is going to do to a certain medication, because have a reaction with a certain medication that you might be on. That I don't know. I was on the normal things, the things that when 90% of the people go to the doctor, they walk out with the same prescriptions. Yep. I was on those, and I took a chance. It's up to you individually. Do you want to take the chance and see if carnivore can improve you, or do you want to play it safe? But I will tell you this, if you continue to eat the same things you're eating, the wheat breads, the low-fat milks, the sugar, the carbs, that isn't good. So just think of it this way. All carnivore really is you're cutting out sugar. Cutting out sugar isn't killing nobody. You're cutting out carbs. Cutting out carbs isn't going to kill anybody. If you want to start a mild carnivore lifestyle, just eat meat. You don't have to eat steak every day. You don't have to eat red meat every day. You can eat chicken. You can eat turkey. You can eat liver. You can eat pork. There are different kinds of pork. There are different kinds of chicken. You can prepare these things all different ways. Just be careful of what you put on them. And maybe have green beans, okay? If you don't want it, all really carnivore is, I tell people all the time, I'm eating the same way I've always ate, because I've always cooked my own home-cooked meals. I'm eating the same things, minus the big pile of mashed potatoes, minus the big pile of corn. I always had meat on my plate. I always ate eggs. But I didn't eat enough eggs. Eggs is probably the most perfect food you can eat. I usually, since I quit the vegetables and all that, which when I say I quit the vegetables, I was only eating probably green beans maybe once a week at that. So I wasn't consuming a lot of vegetables. I've pretty much been strictly carnivore the entire 550 something days I've been doing it. But I just cut that out totally now. And there are things you can, you do the carnivore lifestyle to fit you. That doesn't mean have cookies for dessert. That doesn't mean eat something that's high in carbs with it, because you're doing no good. When you start thinking of cutting out sugar, cutting out carbs, that's basically what carnivore is. You're cutting out the bad stuff. And you'll find that once you get started and you start seeing the results, you're gonna start feeling better. You're not gonna want to go back to those things. There are occasions, such as eating out with friends or family, that you wish you could eat some of the old, Mexican food. I like Mexican food, but I don't go to those places anymore. If I have to meet somebody for lunch or dinner, I will go somewhere. I prefer to go somewhere that cooks steaks, meats, something I can pick out that doesn't have all the junk. But I think ever since I've been carnivore, I've only ate out at a restaurant maybe 4 times. And that was with other people. I do not go to restaurants by myself. I never have. It's just, you feel funny sitting in there by yourself. Everybody's sitting around with their family and friends and you're in there by yourself. I ain't doing it. So I am finally, you know, when I started my journey, at one point I know I was 317 pounds. I am well under 200 pounds now, finally. And I didn't reach that 198 mark, 197 mark until I went back, just cut the green beans out and went back to solid, strict carnivore. And now the man boobs, you know, they're coming off. They are. I hated these things. I hate them. You couldn't wear a short sleeve shirt, you know, a tight t-shirt. You got all these man boobs sticking out. And there's still a little bit there. These are taking time, but I do know they're coming off. I know the belly's shrinking. I never thought I had much fat on my legs or my arms or my face or my neck until I look at the old videos and my head looks like a swollen pumpkin. So I see it, you know, me doing videos almost every day, I see it on a gradual basis. I can go back to videos on my channel from a few years ago, and most of those they're not even on my channel anymore. Anything that had to do with my DIY homesteading videos, I took them off because I don't do those kind of videos anymore. But I still have those videos, so I can still go back and look. The clips you saw came from some of those videos. But if you're thinking of doing it, you know, feel free to ask me questions. There are plenty of channels. Dr. Ken Baker, or Ken Berry, Sean Baker. There are a lot of channels that will guide you through the carnivore process. And these are medical doctors. They're out there. There needs to be more of them. So I hope this was helpful. I try to do updates on my carnivore for the people who are following me for that. Man, it's great. It's great. And you don't suffer like you think you would. You're still eating great food. You're feeling good. There's nothing that should stop anybody from wanting to try it. At least give it a try for I say 60 days. If you can do it for 60 days, you're going to see results that are going to persuade you to just make it your lifestyle. I mean, it's that good. It feels great. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more carnivore updates. I do other kinds of videos on this channel, but I like to include the carnivore updates once in a while. There will be another video today on this channel. So for those of you that don't care about carnivore, don't feel ripped off. But of course, they probably haven't got to this point in the video anyway. They probably didn't watch it. That's how some people are, man. They're like, I like watching cows and stuff behind them, but I don't like that carnivore. Happy trails.